Welcome to the Life Reimagined podcast. The Life Reimagined podcast is hosted by the Second Bloom newsletter on Substack. The Second Bloom newsletter is for women over 50 who want to start over, redesign their lives, and find success, love the life they live, and be happy. And I'm your host, Desiree-Brown Quilty at desireebrown.substack.com. And today we have with us Margaret Williams, and she's going to share her story of reinvention with us. So welcome, Margaret. How are you doing?
I am doing very well, Desiree. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm
And,
honored to be here.
and thank you so much for accepting and being here. So what we want to do is share your fabulous story with other women who are in their 50s and are thinking, what's more? Is there more? And they might be a little bit afraid to make that leap. So what we do on the podcast is share stories of women who have made that leap. And it's different for everyone. So tell us, what inspired you? Because you have reinvented your life. This is something new. This is a new chapter of your life. So what I want to know and what I'd love you to share with our listeners is what inspired you to reinvent your life at this stage?
Partly the Trump administration
Mm.
came in with an email saying fork in the road. And I've worked for the federal government for 39 years, and
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
Mhm.
And it's a disruptor. And I respect it because it's important sometimes to shake things up. Working for the government, I see a lot of areas for growth, for improvement. And for that to happen,
Mhm.
change must occur. And
Yeah.
so a lot of people don't want to change because they want to continue things being the way they are.
Mhm.
And that's the reason why things are the way they are. So when he came out with that email, the first round, I was like, no, I don't trust this. I don't buy it because I never seen anybody ballsy enough to do something like that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I passed it by. He was giving everybody like 8 months the first round. You take this buyout, I'm going to give you 8 months. You can collect your salary, and then you can, and in that meantime, you can figure out what you want to do.
Mhm.
I like, man, that just sounds too good to be true. For people like me to come where I come from, no, it's got to be something ulterior motive, something underneath it. So, anyways, I said, forget it. So when he came out with the second round, he was going to offer only 6 months. And I'm like, you know what? I'm really tired because there's no psychological safety at work.
Mhm.
Every time my supervisor calls, my blood pressure just rises. Everything. I feel under attack every time she calls. Nothing is ever good enough. Okay.
Okay.
And then she finds fault with everything. So I decided he sent the second email between the fourth and 11th. Okay, I made my decision on the 10th because my window of opportunity was closing.
Mhm.
Okay. So I said, I'm going to do that. So when it came back to me, they said, your position is going to be abolished, which means that the work that I was doing, now the problematic supervisor, she has to do the work. I applaud as
Mhm.
I made my exit.
Okay. All right. So just the background, what were you doing before and what are you doing now?
I was, when I came to the Alaska, I was working on a runway project valued at $400 million. And it was very important because it was an Air Force project. It's very important to the city of Alaska, to the organization which I was working for. It was highly visible because the money they had to fund those changes through Congress, and the money had to be approved, appropriated. And so it was very important for that project to occur.
Yeah.
Okay. So while all this work was going on, I was being ignored. I was being criticized, everything you can think of. Okay. So I said, this was an opportunity for me to leave this organization that I love. Now our values are no longer in alignment. So it's time for me to go.
Yeah. So this organization, that was the US Army, is that right? The US government, US Army.
Yes, it's part
Okay.
of, yes, yes,
Mhm.
correct. But you have different divisions and different or
Yeah.
branches within the entire army.
Okay, got it. Okay. All right. So you were doing that, working on this huge project the fork in the road emails came. And what was a pivotal moment? Because you had the fork in the road email that lasted, that went over months. But what was a moment, do you remember, that you said, okay, I'm going to do it? Do you remember what that was? What was that
Yeah.
pivotal moment? Do you remember?
Absolutely. That pivotal moment was a sense of urgency because my health was significantly declined as a result of all of these personal attacks, all the pressure from this
Mm,
being on this project. And it was just surmountable. It was just too much. And my health had declined, my mental, emotional
yeah,
being. And
gone.
I had to choose. I chose me over this job because after all, the Army has a mission and it's going to accomplish its mission with or without me.
That's a
And
good
it will do it, and they will do it without me.
that is a good point. Okay,
Okay.
so you're working on this project, the fork in the road emails, the pivotal moment you said, yes, this is no longer for me. There is something else for you. I'm going to do something else. And what is that something else that you chose to do or you decided to do?
Well, that's something else which I have done over the course of my career is developing people. Okay. And
Mhm.
that's something I really enjoyed working with all the young engineers. And it just gave me an opportunity to give them that support that they needed. Like when I first come in, you don't know anything, you don't know anybody, you feel insecure. You have the skills, but you're not part of it yet. You're in your initiation phase. And that's when you need somebody the most to be there for you, that support. And I tried to do that for people because I didn't have that growing up. And so I always had that nurturing, cultivating spirit. And so with that enabled me to build genuine connections because I can't get my work done unless I talk to people and cultivate them. If I come to them, hey, I need you for this. Can you help me? Okay. And in return, I'm gonna help you. So I try to pay it forward. Okay.
Okay.
And then as a result, my life, it's like my cup is running over. Okay. So much abundance has come from that.
Okay. So what are you doing? Are you mentoring young engineers now? Are you coaching? What would you say? How would you define your current activity post army?
What I have been doing is cultivating and nurturing these relationships within Substack. Okay, so what I do is I go into notes and I see a lot of these young creators who just started, just like me once upon a time. They
Mhm.
might have one or two subscribers. And
Okay.
I embrace them, okay? And I subscribe to them and I talk to them and see how I can be of service by first being of value of letting them know, hey, you got this. I'm with you. I read this is what I found that touched me. And I want and that's that encouragement and helping develop, that's what I'm doing within Substack.
Okay, but generally, are you coaching as well?
Yes, I'm doing self-coaching first of all,
Mhm.
and I'm also doing coaching within Substack. And as I rebrand my business, this
Mm.
is all a part of that, okay?
Yeah.
Reinvention.
Yes.
Starting from the inside. We must start from the inside
Yeah.
and work outwardly.
Oh, okay. Okay, so your definition of Army and now you're coaching on Substack and outside of Substack. Are you targeting anybody in particular? Is it just anybody, or is there a particular group of people that you're focused on? Is it young people? Yeah.
That is a good question. That's why I haven't actually put the coaching services out officially. I'm just
Ah,
coaching
okay.
unofficially, okay? Because that has changed constantly. When I first became a coach, I said I'm going to coach women, okay?
Okay.
But as I continue coaching, I'm finding that my passion has also changed. Okay, I got into career coaching, then I went into leadership coaching. Now I took systemic team coaching, okay? And now with the turn of the landscape, there's no more DEI, okay? So what I did was because my messaging was reaching a lot of men and I was asking friends, why is that? Why is
Yeah.
that? And they say, because you're an analytical person, and most men are left brain analytical people, and they gravitate towards your message. And me being in the military and also growing up in Detroit, Michigan, and
Mhm.
having,
Yeah.
so I guess you could say my messaging, or I could be more authoritative as well. And men gravitates towards the messaging maybe more so than women. But now that I've become more heart-centered, okay,
Yeah.
whole brain thinking, then women are much coming into embrace. And
Okay.
I'm finding it's
Yeah.
much better being vulnerable, being likable is being yourself.
Okay, so stepping into who you are. Okay, yeah, developing other aspects of who you are. Okay, so you've seen
Absolutely.
that, yeah. So post army, so you stepped into coaching, and that's evolved. That's evolved over time as you've discovered more and more of what speaks to you, what lights you up, what world needs. Yeah, so that is fantastic. So can you tell us a typical day in your life looks like now?
I have a golden retriever. He's
Okay.
he's 4 years old,
Uh-huh.
and I recently purchased a Great Pyrenees puppy.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because I've been experiencing a lot of PTSD
Mhm.
because of my childhood abuse, as
Mhm.
well as the experiences in the military. And what I find is that having pets, it just helps with the calming the anxiety and
Mhm.
the things that I'm experiencing personally. And to be able to tell people about it is very important because other people are suffering from these things and they suffer in silence. So I want to put myself out there and talk about these things.
Yeah.
And by talking to them, people are embracing me and really genuinely connecting.
Yeah.
And that is the power and purpose of why I'm here.
Okay, fantastic. So you've got your two dogs. And what do you do? So you have your dogs, you go for walks in the morning, I imagine.
Yes, I spend a lot of time in nature, and
Okay.
which is very calming in itself.
Mhm.
And being one with nature, I am clear and in focus with what I am supposed to do.
Okay. Yeah. So what does your day look like after you walk with your dogs? After you walk your dogs?
I try to get in some time on Substack, also work on my business. I have gotten back into meditation, fitness, okay, and eating whole foods,
Okay.
which we know that's going to help to minimize
Mhm.
cognitive decline because I have been
Absolutely.
experiencing memory loss. And
Mhm.
it's because I have not been eating correctly and I hadn't been taking care of myself because I was worried about my job and that. So now I'm taking more focus on self-care.
Okay, yeah. Because I heard recently somebody said to me, a healthy body is a healthy mind. Yeah, I
The
heard that.
body is,
Yeah.
yes, the body is the temple.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I imagine the whole definition of success has changed. Like when you were working, like that success was defined a certain way, and now success, I imagine, has changed a little bit. How has your definition of success changed since you started on this journey post-army? What is success? What would you define success now?
I would say that my definition of success has remained unchanged
Mhm.
because it's based on my values, which keep me grounded.
What is your
So
definition of success, would you say? Can you share that with us?
I can't because it's not it's subjective.
Okay.
Okay. We know there's webs and flows.
Yeah.
Okay. And to me, success, that's considered like a judgment. And I prefer that because I've been judged and rejected my whole life. So I say that's success, but in actuality, it has no meaning because, like
Mhm.
I said, it's subjective and it's different for every person.
Okay, but this is for you though, your definition. So it's okay to be subjective because it's your definition. It's not mine. It's not anybody else.
Yeah, since I suffer from imposter syndrome, I think again, it's putting me up here and I want to stay in the present moment.
Mhm.
Okay. And so my definition of success can change from hour to hour.
Oh, okay. Okay. I understand. I understand. Okay. So let us, for women out there who'd like to make a change in their life, there are those beliefs, there's a fear, there's the doubt that will come up with any time you're about to make a change. It doesn't matter who it is, you're going to have thoughts of fear and doubts that come up. How did you handle that? How did you move past that when you're making that pivot, making that change?
First of all, I can tell you it's not easy.
Yeah,
So
I know that. Yeah.
So we always have to reframe things. So what the first thing to do in any decision or anything that you're trying to do, look in the mirror. Okay? Face yourself in the mirror and say, you got this. I have the necessary resources to succeed.
Hmm.
Okay? And I'll go a step further. Being a visual person, I'll sit down and write a list of all the resources that are applicable to that goal. Okay? And you'd be surprised how much you don't realize you already have to
Hmm.
succeed.
Hmm.
And when you do that, then you're like, oh my, it just raises your energy,
Yeah.
your vibration, your confidence. And you'll say, I only need to take this one step, this one thought and one step, take you in the direction you want to go.
Yeah. So it's like doing an inventory of where you're coming from and all the things that you can do, just to remind yourself of where you're coming from and all the things that you've done, just to tell your mind that you can actually do it. It's not that you don't know, you can actually do it. Okay, that is fantastic. So what do? You make a list, do you keep the list, do you stick it somewhere, or what do you do? Once you made a list, do you keep it anywhere? Or do you make a list every time there's a doubt or anything that comes up? Or is it a
I
mental?
would do, I'm sorry, I would do it in all areas. Okay. I would have a post-it, I would put it in my calendar.
Yeah.
I would every morning I get up and look in the mirror, I would say an affirmation.
Mm.
All these things will help to reinforce.
Okay. Okay. Nice. And whenever we start something new, again with change, we're not the only ones who are changing. The people around us are going to react to that change. Now, my question is, how has reinventing yourself impacted your relationships with other people, the people around you?
I will say like this, some relationships end and new ones form. This is a natural occurrence of life. If we want to succeed in life, we have to cut things out and cut people off, and then we have to take the high road. And then we'll have to look back and say, okay, what lesson did I learn from that? Working in the military, I do AR every day, which is similar to personal inventory. AAR is an after action review. I'll do, okay, what did I do? What could I have done differently? Okay. What part did I play in that situation? And what steps can I take to improve in the future? I do that every day.
Okay, okay. So you're saying that you're some people that you were close to before, you're no longer close, and now you have new relationships based on that. Based because you're now a different person. Not a different person, but you have a different life.
Both,
Both.
both.
Both. Okay. Okay. Good.
When you see something's not serving you, you have to remove it. Otherwise, you're back in the past and you're trying to go to the future. That's a part of life.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. For sure. For sure. And what would you tell? One of the questions that that I ask all my guests is, what would you tell now that you know what would you tell your younger self? Just go back in time a little bit and look at your younger self. What would you tell them knowing what you know now?
I wouldn't have done anything differently. I tell them never stop, keep moving forward, and before you know it, you've reached the finish line.
Okay.
And whether you have a strong support system or not, and that's one of the things that I didn't have growing up. And that's the reason why I created the Empowered Leader, to provide a safe space for people to come and to feel valued, to feel seen, and to be heard.
Okay. So don't stop, keep going, and before you know it, you'll be at the finish line. That-
Absolutely.
Okay. And you mentioned the empowered leader. What is that? Can you share with the listeners what the empowered leader is? What is that?
It's basically, it's not a publication, it's a movement where we come together like-minded individuals of color,
Mm-hmm.
of men, women. We
Mm-hmm.
embrace everybody because we know that diversity is what moves this country forward. And without that, we're lost.
Okay.
I embrace everyone.
Okay. So it's a community that comes together to support each other.
Absolutely. Because that's all we have is each other.
Okay. And where can we find you? Where can we find you? Can you give us the email address, the Substack address, anything where readers can find you or listeners can find you if they want to join your community?
The Empowered Leader. That's all I have. You can find me on Substack, I'm sure.
Substack at the Empowered Leader. Okay, I will add that to the show notes. I'll add a link in the show notes. Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Margaret, it was great talking to you, and thank you for all the nuggets of wisdom that you've shared with us. And I just want to thank you and wish you all the best with the Empowered Leader. And I'm hoping the community grows because we definitely need that kind of thing nowadays, 2025 and beyond. Yeah. Okay, so thanks again and all the best. And we'll be in touch.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.